When I was 10 years old, I lived in a relatively small town in Texas in a small house with my mom. My mom has always had a very caring heart for those in need. So when my uncle called her one night and told her he ran into a homeless girl at the local park, my mom offered to help her out for a day or so just to get her back on her feet. That sort of thing. When the girl arrived at my house, she said her name was Laura. Laura told us she was 16 at the time. She seemed like a shy girl. When my mother asked what she was doing out on the streets, she told us she had been kicked out of her home by her mom because her mom had accused her of sleeping with her boyfriend. Laura told us the allegation wasn't true. Instead, it was her mother's boyfriend who came on to her. My mom gave Laura a place to sleep in the guest bedroom that night. The next day, after breakfast, Laura asked to use my mom's house phone to call her mom to see if she could get some of her things from her mom's house. Laura's mom never answered the phone, and we felt bad for her. As a 10-year-old girl, I couldn't imagine what she must have been going through. Later that day, I remember watching TV in the living room and minding my own business. But I could feel someone staring at me, so I turned my head where I felt the gaze. Laura was sending me a glare so cold that if looks could kill, I would have dropped dead. I was confused and a little startled. I turned my head away from her quickly and went back to watching TV, but I could still feel Laura's cold gaze. I couldn't understand what I had done to her to cause her to look at me with such hate. The next day, it happened once more. I was in the kitchen getting a glass of water when I could feel someone looking at me. I turned my head to the side and saw Laura's head peering around the corner at me. Her eyes were dark and laced with hatred. It frightened me, and I felt so confused as to why she was looking at me like this. I didn't want to cause any trouble, so I didn't bring up Laura's death glares to my mother at all. Later that night, my uncle had joined us for dinner. He had stopped by to see how everything was with Laura, and if we had any luck finding her a place to live with one of her family members. After dinner, I was washing my plate in the sink when I heard a loud growling sound coming from the dining room. I turned my head to see Laura shaking and growling like some sort of a wild animal. My mom and uncle looked disturbed and worried. Laura threw herself onto the ground and began thrashing around and screaming as if she were possessed. I was absolutely terrified. It was a scary thing to witness. I grew up very religious. My mom and uncle began praying out loud for Laura while I ran to my room and closed the door. This went on for 2 hours, but it felt like an eternity of horror. I could hear Laura screaming like a madwoman and growling like some sort of deranged beast. I don't think any of us knew exactly what was going on. After my mom and uncle had prayed for Laura for what felt like forever, Laura told us she was free from an evil demon that had taken over her. None of us were sure what had caused her behavior, or what had even happened. I peeked my head out of the room to see Laura smiling happily while she curled up on the couch with a blanket. Her eyes opened, and she shot a cold glare at me. I quickly closed my bedroom door in fear. I placed a chair in front of my bedroom door and went to sleep. I woke up the next morning to my mom waking me up. She told me that she was taking me out to eat at my favorite restaurant. When I asked her if Laura was coming, she gave me a serious expression and spoke. "Your uncle is going to take Laura back to her mom's house. He slept on the couch last night after what happened. He and I were talking when the two of you had gone to sleep, and we pieced together that Laura made the entire performance up last night." She then said, "She is not stable, and we think she's dangerous." As I heard my mother say those words, relief washed over me. I got dressed and went to the car to go to the restaurant with my mom. When we got into the car, we saw Laura and my uncle getting in his truck with her. Laura looked angry. Her expression was of a child's when you don't give them what they want. She got into my uncle's car and they drove away. I'm 22 now, and I have never forgotten about this horrific incident that happened in my life years ago. After that day, I never saw Laura or heard anything else about her ever again. I have only discovered this subreddit recently, and have become engrossed in all the fantastic, creepy stories people have to tell. While my experience isn't as dramatic as others on here, I'm sure it is something some people experienced when they were younger. Pontins, for you readers outside the UK, is a sort of cheap and cheerful holiday park for families, with parks, water activities, and entertainment. It's nothing fancy, but I love the times I went there as a kid. 15 years ago, when I was 8 years old, I was staying there with my mom, dad, and little sister. One night, we went to the daily evening entertainment, which is where families sit and eat, and then there'll be something like a magician or entertainer for kids, usually followed by music and dancing. All in all, good harmless family vibes. After the meal, I sat at another table to chat to my friend I had met days before. You know, them friends you meet on holiday and never see again, and we just had a laugh and took turns on my Nintendo DS for a bit. At the back of the room near the bar and exit, there was a practical joke shop, so my friend and I went over to have a browse. We didn't end up buying anything, and as we left, he said he was going to the toilet, so I waited. Bear in mind, this was a fairly busy large room with a mini shop, bar, and stage. As I was waiting there minding my business, I distinctly remember a bunch of women, which I now understand is called a hen party, dressed all in pink, entering and buying drinks as I was waiting for my friend. Just one of those weird, insignificant things you distinctly remember while something happens when you are younger. So I'm standing there, simply waiting, when I feel a tap on the shoulder and turn around to see a man in his mid to late 20s smiling at me. He said, "Hey, I'm the manager here, and your family has gone back to the apartment in a hurry and asked me to drop you off. Come with me." Being 8 years old, you would have a tendency to listen to anyone older and seemingly friendly, but it struck me as odd he didn't have a uniform or badge or anything like that. I thanked my lucky stars I had the streetwise to say something like, "I'm just waiting for my friend in the toilet and his mom will take me back." Now I reckon I was too much trouble for him, as he just strangely looked at me for a bit and swiftly left the room. Just as he did, my friend came out, and as strange as this sounds, I just brushed it off and forgot about it. Even as I came back to my table and saw my family there, I didn't say anything. I wasn't particularly frightened or spooked that night. The next day on the beach, I remember just sitting there thinking about it. It's something that has stuck with me ever since, and as I grew up, it dawned on me how dangerous it was. What if I went with a man? Looking back in hindsight, this was the mid-2000s in a cheap UK holiday park with little security and the car park right next to the exit. I really should have told my parents so we could alert the staff. As for all I know, the man could have tried this the next night on another kid. I know now the man was most likely a pedophile or a predator, and it chills me to think that these types of people can get into and hang around family resorts such as Butlins or Pontins. I really hope things have changed now, and that security has improved. I know this tale isn't as extraordinary or dramatic as others, but I've always been more scared by the sinister, slightly unnerving stories in life.